Michele Geraci is the head of the China program at the Global Policy Institute, and he joins us now live from Beijing. Michele Geraci, let's talk about some of the deals made. Dozens of business deals. U.S. exports to increase by about $45 million. China will pump billions of dollars of investments into the U.S. economy. From where I'm sitting, it sounds pretty one-sided to me. What is China getting out of this?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, yes, you're right. China is putting in several tens of billions of dollars of modern investment purchases of U.S. goods. In a way, I think that pleases the American administration. They can almost sell today's event as almost an economic victory from that point of view. Having said that, 45 billion is not a lot compared to the 270, 280 billion of trade deficit that the U.S. faces against China. And on top of that, we do not know exactly how much of this 40 billion is actually new news, or probably was agreed, had been agreed over the last few months. It includes purchases from Boeing, GE. So what China gets planes, 200 Boeing planes, which 737, 777, I believe, which will be needed for China growing air traffic. So it's a commercial agreement which internally the U.S. can sell it almost as a small political victory.
Another point that has been raised by Obama is the currency, and he's basically said that China needs to work on the currency and the yuan's movement. Do you think China is going to listen and they're going to do things any differently?
I don't think China will be listening to any external demands. That's typical of the Chinese policy. It's been reiterated during this meeting: mutual respect, equal footing. No one interferes with everyone else's internal affairs. And to be fair, the managing of its own currency is pretty much an internal affair. That's what every country does by printing money every day, including the Federal Reserves and other European and Asian central banks. They all do that. So I don't expect a fast or rapid appreciation of the renminbi, less because it would affect the Chinese export without actually benefiting too much the U.S. economy. So I'm almost thinking that this whole renminbi issue is being played too highly and mostly as a internal demand from Obama and the administration electoral base, rather than actually trying to push China to do it. Obama and the administration know the louder they speak, the less the Chinese will listen.
Well, speaking of internal demand, Obama's been trying to put a positive spin on it, saying that, the relationship has changed, old stereotypes have changed. And a growing China does not mean taking away jobs from the U.S. And this is very important because Hu is bound to face his biggest test with Congress, and he's going to be meeting Congress in the next couple of days to round up his trip. What do you think he'll be facing when he talks to them?
Well, he will, as I said at the beginning, on top of the 40 billion, he could also claim the 235,000 jobs that, in a way, China is securing, at least for the next few years, through this purchase. And let's not forget, this is only part of the overall agreement between China and the U.S., and I expect more trade agreement will follow, with more Chinese companies buying U.S. goods, and even Chinese companies buying American companies, especially in the time when the financial crisis is not over yet. The economic crisis is a long way from recovery, and so Obama needs this kind of weapons to talk to his constituency, but also to the rest of the Senate and the House.
Michele Geraci from the Global Policy Institute, thank you very much for your analysis.